Hey guys, this is going to be a short introduction. This video is going to be about a conversation I had with a police officer. I was wanting to know who owns the property between the sidewalk and the roads. I looked it up, and it's called the public right-of-way and the sidewalk easements. So I asked the officer about what he thought, and here's the conversation of what me and him had. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I got a question.
Okay.
The patch of grass between the sidewalk and the road, isn't that the
Right of way?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a public right of way. That means that we can access it. It doesn't mean you can access it. It's on private property. It's still private property, and is limited. The fact that it's a public right of way means that it can be accessed for limited uses.
Just like walking and stuff?
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's, and it kind of, and for like public utilities, can access that. Also means that we can very easily condemn it and widen the road if we need to.
Yeah.
That time I say we, it's government.
Right.
So I'm assuming you're going to be doing some metal detecting, attempting to do some metal detecting along that area. And so your question is probably one of ownership. Yeah, it would starting at the curb line, starting at the improved area, all the way the legal description of that property. We'll put that under the domain because let me put it this way: if that property is not maintained properly or according to ordinance, who does that fall on?
The owner.
Exactly. So they have that. It's a right of way is it's like let's see.
It's the city's property, but it's the owner's responsibility.
It's not the city's property. The city has right of access. It's not ours. It belongs to the owner. It goes with the property. It goes with the house. They can access it. They can improve it, but they improve it really at their own risk because if we decide we need to access that, whatever improvements they've made, we can remove, destroy, or whatever we need to.
So if you were to do that, would you ask the homeowner's permission first, or?
Now I say, would we?
Yeah.
I'm a police department. Okay? So we deal very strictly in criminal law. What you're talking about here is more a matter of it's not really eminent domain, but it kind of falls in that area of law where you have a shared access to a given location, and those shared accesses have very specific uses laid out in them. And I'll give you another example. I live in an addition that has a lake and it has a dam. And that dam is maintained by the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, and they can access that dam for the purpose of maintaining that dam. That, and it's not I'm trying to think of the term, the legal term. That is a lien is stuck in my head. It's not a lien. It's nothing like even a lien. It's easement.
An easement, yeah.
Yeah, it's an easement. So it's the right of way is really more of an easement. It really says that we can go through there. We can grant utility for the public good. We can grant access to like a public utility to dig there, and we may notify you, but we're not asking your permission. We're done.
Okay.
So it's that type of thing. So do you have that as a private citizen? No.
Okay.
I mean, it's that's going to be your hang up. I mean, ultimately though, you can do it, unless somebody says, hey, you're on my property, I need you to leave. And, of course there's a possibility that somebody's going to call and go, rather than talking to you because they don't know you, they're going to call and they're going to go, there's this guy in my front yard. So you got to be prepared for, police contact, citizen contact.
Okay.
And just because something is dropped on the property doesn't make it theirs. nor does it make it yours.
Right.
And that's the other challenge, is that it actually kind of puts it in that gray area of something that you probably, if it's of real value, you should actually call us.
Right, yeah, well, of course, like if I find like an old like military ring or something,
right,
I'm gonna go to the owner and be like, hey, did you lose a ring? You know, I'm not that kind of guy, you know.
It really gets into a murky area of the
Yeah.
law. You know, so for me to sit here and try to explain to you, hey, this is how it's going to be applied, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I can tell you that you can be held both criminally and civilly liable. That doesn't mean that you will be criminally and civilly held liable.
Yeah.
You can be.
Okay.
You know, and it just depends on the overall. You have to look at the totality of the circumstances, and I'd be very careful.
Okay.
You know,
So basically, you're saying I could go detect that, but it's up to the owners if they want me gone or not.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're on their property and they don't want you there, and the biggest issue is probably ring the doorbell and say, may I? You know, and if I find anything, I'll let you know, and or anything of value or whatever, and most people are going to say okay. And if you don't get an answer, you know, I would always refrain from going probably past the sidewalk, you know, but from the sidewalk to the street. You know, most people aren't going to have an issue. It's just that the closer you get to that personal space.
Yeah, I wasn't going to like go up on their yard or anything. I was just going to stick, you know, just really close to the road.
The rules of good sense don't necessarily apply.
Right.
I mean, not everybody uses them. And some people make it really uptight about it. If they want to come out and start screaming at you, I think you just have to be prepared for that to happen. And you go, hey, I'm sorry, no problem, and move on.
Right. Okay.
You know, so it's it's a deal. I can't grant you access to that property.
Right.
However, without somebody saying you're trespassing, you're not.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You know, once up until you actually enter the curtilage around the house.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're not trespassing to walk across somebody's yard unless you come across a sign that says no trespassing. Once you've been notified and assigned as notification,
right?
Okay, then it's a different deal.
Okay.
Now you're trespassing. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
have a good day.
All right. I'll just give it a try, and if they tell me to leave, I'll leave. But
okay.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
So there you hear it, straight from the horse's mouth. It is technically the city's, but the owners are supposed to maintain it, and if they want me gone, then I have to leave. So see what happens. I think everybody's pretty nice around here. We'll see what goes down though. I'm not gonna do like really nice yards or anything. I'm gonna do like kind of junky yards and stuff. So I'm gonna go down this way right here. See what we can get.